Trevor's a free man.
Testing. Free. Trevor free. It's finally backwards. Testing. Cool.
New setup.
New gear.
New camera. New lav mics. Same couch.
Yeah, maybe we should have bought a new couch instead of all this other shit. Because our camera worked perfectly fine. It's like, no, I should definitely buy $3,000 of equipment for a podcast that we both pay our own money to do.
It costs money.
Yeah, money seriously.
To do this.
We keep talking. We need to finally bite the bullet this year and set up like a Patreon.
Yeah, or at least get a sponsor. Get Yo-Yo Expert.
Yeah. Somebody that would be
do some ad reads.
A shoe-in sponsor.
If any small yo-yo or any size yo-yo company wants to
call your credit card company, file chargebacks for yo-yos you bought anywhere else. Order it from Yo-Yo. Commit credit card fraud.
We're back. It's a new year.
Yeah, 2025. This is the first one of 2025, isn't it?
Yeah, it's already February.
Did we do a podcast after Christmas last time, right? No?
No, I didn't even realize we did that one before.
It was before
the
Christmas.
Holidays.
Yeah.
It's the longest time ago.
I guess I did say about Christmas, and if you didn't celebrate Christmas, you're a terrorist.
Very controversial. Some guy said he celebrates Kwanzaa. I think he was joking.
That was Brandon. Yeah.
There's no way.
Oh my gosh. Alternative Christmas holidays are very goofy. Yeah. What's new? What's going on?
Same old stuff, man. What is new?
You're coming out with your new yo-yo, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about that first, since we have fucking questions and everything else?
It's Wednesday now, so this probably won't be out in time, but you can, by the time this is out, you'll definitely be able to get your hands on the Dink Extra Wide, which is my new yo-yo. It's just, the Dink was a popular yo-yo last year. People really liked it. It's a little D-bearing mini guy.
Stainless steel miniature dunk.
Yeah, so you can see it's just, we just stretched it out. It's just a big, wide version of the Dink, and super thin walls, and just, I don't know, it's really fun. High performance. CJ and I agree that it's like, as far as modern yo-yo preferences go, like this is probably the closest you'll get in the dunk lineup to like high performance.
They're all high performance, let's say.
Yeah, but like, you know, like a wide, like more doing big hooks and stuff, but it's still got a D-bearing, so you know, if you don't like those, you're out of luck. But
I guess I hear it. Like all your other yo-yos are very like,
they're casual,
postmodern, at the drive-in type shit, and this is your Mars Volta.
Yeah, it's a little wild.
More progressive. Yeah,
we literally, it's literally just took Kieran's yo-yo, which we both liked, and we're like, let's just copy paste the specs onto the Dink CAD.
Yeah, you're also being very honest about that, which I commend you for. But
yeah, I mean, I hope the empathy's not that. I mean, I talked to Kieran about it, and he seemed fine with it. So it's like he has one. He likes the yo-yo.
Oh, you gave him one.
Yeah,
nice.
Of course. And at the end of the day, the specs aren't insanely unique. There's a bunch of yo-yos that are 45, 50, whatever the two specs are.
Oh, there is? You've looked into that?
Yeah, there's a good amount. So it's not like insane. I don't think it's, an issue, but I just wanted to be honest. I love that yo-yo.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd try it, and it was good.
And it's completely different. Like I threw Kieran's over there, and I was like,
it's so different. The weight is different, so the specs aren't identical, and the specs aren't even identical. There's a couple. Ow, buddy. A couple whatever points of a millimeter difference. But
yeah, and just the shape alone, like his shape's a little simpler, so like it plays great, but it's
Jesus. He's in a mood today. Couldn't play more different, like so different. So it was like a fun experiment that worked out. We didn't necessarily plan on producing it, but I made a small run of them.
This is a prototype, right?
No, that's a production, but that's a B grade.
Okay, I was gonna say
that's why it's ready. There were a couple B grade blasted ones that I'll eventually do something with. Probably get Cerakoted, honestly.
That would be sick.
Yeah, I want to do the Mountain Dew colors.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Green is such a good colorway for yo-yos sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's the right green.
Yeah, and I don't even like Mountain Dew, but the name worked out to be... That was also just like I was just
Yeah,
like,
how'd
how
you come
about
up with the name?
I literally just texted it. We're like, let's call it Dink Extra Wide because I got that from like one of the one of those Japanese companies did stuff like that where they released a what was that? It might have been Mickey's company. His uh oh my god, Hajime's offstring yo-yo. They released like the regular and then the extra wide version. And I just thought that was cool to just tack
That's
extra wide
interesting, yeah.
onto the name of a yo-yo. I think it's funny. But then I think maybe CJ pointed out that the initials were due DEW, so
Oh, sick.
I'm rolling with the Mountain Dew references. I gotta.
It's I don't like.
It's funny. There's
It's
that Mountain Dew
funny.
commercial I didn't even know about with like Patrick Mitchell and
Oh
Paul
yeah,
Yap in
that's
it.
hilarious.
I had no idea that existed.
I didn't
Someone
even put
sent
two
it
and
to
two
me.
together the other day when he
Yeah.
posted those. I was like, oh, Jake's just finding out
Nah.
about this. That's funny. Or it came out when you were still yo-yoing, like pretty hardcore back in the day.
Maybe. I think it was 2010 that came
No,
out.
it was like 2008, 9, yeah.
Yeah, because Paul's using a milk in it,
Yeah.
which is funny. The milk was on national TV. It's crazy.
Yeah, Paul's been in some interesting shit. He was in an episode of Pawn Stars, I think it was. Is that the one with the pawn shop in Vegas?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, some lady comes in with a bunch of old Dunkins and tries to.
was
Paul
the
was the.
expert.
I'm gonna call my friend.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're gonna be up Friday at 6 on my website.
Do you want to release the pod early so we can promote it, or I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, or if we can get it out, maybe this Sunday or something.
Yeah,
they'll still be in stock, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I hope so. Anyway, that would be amazing if you sold all of them over the weekend.
There aren't a ton of these, the raw and blasted, but there will be more. So if they do sell out, don't worry. There's colored ones coming down the line, but they just didn't get here in time because of the Chinese New Year's.
Yeah, it's throwing a wrench into everything I'm making right now.
It never fails to like. I always plan for it now, and it still comes around, and it's like, oh, I have things.
Yeah, it's like ready. Break with any other job where it's like I think leading up to it, where they know like, oh, we're about to get 3 weeks off work, like no one works for the 2 weeks leading up to it. Right. And it's just like, damn, bro, like I get it, but
yeah.
Whatever. They work 6 days a week any other time, so like it's fine.
No, they deserve it for sure.
And it's also interesting how many like yo-yos don't stop getting released, but like I don't know. It's interesting how many people get product like right as Chinese New Year's happening. Like Unparalleled came out with the yo-yo. This yo-yo is coming out, the 44 Emporium one. Yo-Yo Factory citation. Like they all came out right around when
that's so crazy
when it was happening.
What do you got going on?
Not much. I'm just booking shows for the rest of the year in summer. Nice. I've already started doing that. I have a show Friday in Delaware for like 200 kids. They're buying yo-yos for everyone, so that's very nice of them. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, just like I got so many prototypes in that you just tried, and then I have 2 more prototypes on the way that were ordered right before Chinese New Year that I was praying I'd get but didn't get, whatever. And then Cap Typer Nova will be done sooner or later, and it's supposed to, I think it's already done being machined, but like just getting everything colored is like difficult when you're doing a capped yo-yo, and then the artwork for it isn't just like a laser engraving. It's like I think we might be like getting stickers like printed like but in reverse to put them like on the back side of a polished polycarb cap.
Oh,
I don't know. We're still kind of like working out what to do.
That would look cool potentially.
Yeah, and it would also protect the artwork forever. You know what I mean? And that's how the Severe was done. It was printed on the back of the cap, so it's really nice. But
nice.
I'm
excited to see this.
Also, if it's just way too complicated, I would rather just get them pad printed. They'll still last years, and then whatever. Or we could even get a pad printed on the back. I don't know. I should really get him to send me photos of everything, but you know that shop is kind of difficult to work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing else really. I mean, I already have so much shit booked for this summer, which is good, but it's like, I don't know. I just end up spending so much time booking stuff for the summer that it like interferes with me booking stuff during the school year.
Right.
And then after I get done with the summer, I'm like so tired. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take like a month off and just chill and like, but the grind never stops. You gotta really just keep pressing and moving ahead with it. But anyway, you want to go over questions?
You're teaching the next generation. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah, me and Yo-Yo Factory, bro. I mean,
apparently, yeah.
They're really out here doing the Lord's work.
They sometimes forget what it's all about. I heard. But you know, they're going back to basics.
Sometimes, like the rest of the yo-yo industry, I forget what everything's all about.
I was so tempted to comment Hypernova from Wish. It literally looks like a yo-yo from Wish with like the shit, which they did on purpose, but like.
What an awful yo-yo to reference, though.
I know.
Like it's, I guess, like trying to make some sort of comment of I don't know. Like it's just like a very paltry attempt at storytelling, where it's like they're like the first run of Chinese yo-yos we did was the super wide one, which was just a licensed, I think, Magic Yo-Yo Design or some other company, and it was so bad that we still have leftovers, literally 15 years later, and it's like. Okay, like why are we? What is the story to be told with that other than like it was a bad idea?
First.
Yeah,
we took our shit overseas first and created this horrible shit.
We were the first to say "fuck American machine."
Yeah. Oh, storytelling isn't their strong.
What do you mean, Jay? They're great storytellers.
Hella questions.
Do you want to do questions first?
Yeah, let me see what we got.
What strings did you guys use back in the day? Well, the first like cool string, other than like the Yo-Yo Jam yellow string, were Brazilian.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I got some. Ouch, buddy. Dude, I can just get up with this.
You got some Brazilian poly, or
yeah, still in package, man.
From where? Who?
From
Oh, the homie.
The homie. Blanking.
Damn, this is wild.
Volto. So this is what Tyler's talking about.
Wow, this is crazy.
I also have Dave Bazan's business card.
He sent you all this?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. But yeah, that was the first polyester full poly string.
Yeah, because Brazil is so humid that they somehow got the tech on that first.
Really?
Like,
yeah.
That's what they said back in the day. Yeah, that Brazil was so humid that they made polyester string first, which makes sense. I mean, but then, so this is probably like 2003, 2004, these were coming out.
Yeah.
And I think because it's so slick, people probably didn't like it very much at first, or it doesn't play great with a responsive yo-yo.
It's thin by today's standards, too.
Yeah.
So it was thinner than what we were using. And there were freaks back then who were still cotton purists.
That's crazy to
like
me.
Steve Brown a little bit and Jack Rinkins.
Cotton strings literally break. Like if you,
I hated cotton so much.
Yeah, even back then I hated it. Like
yeah, it was horrible. I used exclusively Yo-Yo Jam Slick 6.
Yeah, Slick 6 was significantly better.
Really good. And that's where I feel like the yellow that we all know like kind of came from.
And we would have to ask Andre about
I'm
why
curious.
The yellow color
well, probably that was like Yo-Yo Jam's kind of color, like that lime greeny.
Yeah, it was more green.
I wonder if that had
yellow,
something to do with it.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I used highlights.
Yeah, when Yo-Yo Nation highlights it, it was a wrap because like I think maybe someone had gotten like white polyester string beforehand and like it was okay, but it would be like really loosely wound.
Yeah.
Or, like it just wasn't good. And highlights were like the first thing where it's like, damn, these are sick. Like this.
They were good, but in hindsight, I found some recent like it wasn't great. They weren't great.
You think it was just that much better than the other?
I guess, and I don't even know if they were that much better than Yo-Yo Jam Slick 6, but I feel like that just became harder to find, and Yo-Yo Nation was where you were getting everything from anyway.
Right.
It was just easier to get highlights. Plus, at least I think other people too, like Yo-Yo Nation had a lot of like backing, like they didn't officially really sponsor people, but everyone was wearing Yo-Yo Nation shirts and had the sticker. Even if they were sponsored by another company, you'd put a Yo-Yo Nation sticker somewhere. Like people just liked repping Yo-Yo Nation.
Yeah.
At least I did. So it's like that's more why I used highlights than anything else, I think.
It's so crazy thinking back then because no one would do that shit now. Like
no, a yo-yo store, like a yo-yo expert sticker would be a little unusual to see.
Or even just any company in general, like someone just repping it for free that hard. It's like
I don't know what it was other than Pat was very charismatic.
Yeah,
and
it's
a nice
basically exactly
guy
what it was,
throwing contests, doing cool stuff. So.
Yeah. And like I think we all kind of
cool
had this
logo,
idea in our head, like, oh, Pat could be like one of the dudes that like blows Yo-Yo up, you know?
Yeah.
What I mean? And it's crazy to think back then, like you've been doing the dunk, I feel like, for as long as like Yo-Yo Nation was like at the helm, you know?
Maybe longer.
Because very
5 years
soon, very soon after Yo-Yo Nation came on the scene, it was like a year and a half, 2 years, and Yo-Yo Nation was done. Like
Yo-Yo Nation was like 2007 to 11, maybe 12.
Right around there, yeah, something like that. So what is that?
4 or 5 years tops, yeah. Man made $1 million and bounced.
According to the New York Times. $1 million off yo-yos. But yes,
he was like 26 too, or something.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
something crazy.
Those Yo-Yo Nation highlights were really the shit back then, and
people like those. Yeah,
I remember like when they first came out, I was so worried that they were gonna just disappear that I bought like 1,000 instantly. I was like, let me get as many of these as possible.
I had a bunch of orange and pink ones.
Yeah, because if I can't get these in the future, I'm going to be so pissed.
What color did you like?
Oh, the green.
Yeah.
Most. I mean, the pink were pretty nice too, but like the pink for some reason like shed a lot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I would have little bits of pink string everywhere, or like when I was playing, the string would just be like frayed.
Yeah.
And then the orange, all orange string like always sucks. Like this orange string was okay. Is there even any orange in here? I don't think so. I don't see any. I think it's just yellow.
Yellow, pink, and green.
Yeah. Yellow is honestly normally the best just because I think the dye is the lightest, you know what I mean? And then they don't need to dye it for very long to get that color versus like pink is a very intrusive color that takes a long time to penetrate the polyester, and then same with green, and then orange is like the darkest. So it's like...
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, you want to do one?
Yeah, let's see. Instead of a tutorial, would you consider doing a creative concepts video? It could be fun.
Creative concepts.
I assume he means like maybe just break down a single, or what I would take that as is like take a movement or two movements or mounts and just like show a bunch of different stuff you can do from them.
Yeah, kind of like the Sean Fumo wrist project.
Yeah, get the brain flowing. Like
that's a cool idea.
I like it. It's just
and it does help because like there tends to be a good amount of yo-yo players that are visual learners. You know, where they will. They'll I'm trying to think the right way to word it. They just watch the video and they learn it. Like especially with simpler concepts, but like. I think for every 1 or 2 of those yo-yoers, there's like 10 that really need the like full disclosure of like top to bottom tutorial of how everything works. And because I don't know, every time that I watch tutorial, like people will watch the ones that are just like a slow motion 4K breakdown, but also like the ones that have like a narrative over top or words and people are explaining step by step. I feel like those have like a much longer longevity and people just want them into the future. Like, and it's crazy how long tutorials live for. Like there was a Canadian yo-yoer that everyone was posting about the other day that I had never heard of, but it was some trick of his called like elephant something, or I forget what it was. But sticky elephant, something very random. But like mad yo-yoers are commenting like, I learned this trick in 2011 and blah blah blah. And I was like, I've never heard of this. This is cool to see, but like never heard of this. I mean, it is a cool concept doing the creative concept video instead of a tutorial, but I don't know. I feel like they all just kind of work together. Like you can't do one without the other, or like I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree. It's the tutorials always forever, because even on my old ass small YouTube channel, my biggest video is a tutorial. Like
see, exactly.
It's crazy, and people every contest are like, "Oh, I learned that hash browns trick back in the day."
That's so tight.
It's so crazy. So they always for whatever reason.
It works, bro. Like,
people latch on, especially if it's a fun tutorial or has like a cool. It's a cool trick or has like a cool name or even.
That's just like anything else, you kind of like it has perpetuity, like it'll last forever, but then also like just like any other content, you have to be consistent. Like I bet if you dropped like one tutorial a week or whatever, which would be a fucking undertaking,
so much, yeah.
But it's like it would really do wonders because like people would expect it the next week. They'd want to learn the next one. Like
I always say I'm gonna do it, and I have a list of tricks that people have requested specifically, like from my Instagram.
It's hard though.
It's really hard. Like you said, I think the way to go is probably like how the cabin like the CLYW one. It's just like multiple angles, POV, slow mo, and that's it. That I could do, but I always feel like I need to like talk and do the voiceover, and like maybe I don't, and I should just try the other way.
Yeah, I did a series like that, like cabin tutorials, and like they did well, but like I've never had people come up and be like, "Oh, I learned this trick or that trick," versus like the other videos where I'm talking over. I get people every contest be like, "Oh,"
I have a harder time. Honestly, it's easier for me to break down a trick talking than it is to like do the trick really slow piece by piece. There's some of my tricks that I can't. That's like really difficult to like stop and like do each movement. That's hard.
And you end up, when you're scripting it out, you end up learning things about the trick that like you wouldn't know to explain otherwise. You'd be like, "Oh, you just do this," and then you do that, and then you're like, "Oh shit, it's actually different." It happens literally every time I write tutorials with a pro player. Like every person, like I'll be like, "All right, show me the trick." They teach it to me, and then the process of teaching it to me, they say that like a dozen times. Their trick's like, "Oh, I didn't know that my finger really did this with it," and it's like, "Oh, well, like that's kind of a crucial part." Like, all right, you want to do the next question? How many questions did you get? Jesus.
Yeah, a bunch, man. Yo-yoing dad joke. Favorite chain restaurant to get a burger? We've talked about this plenty. Red Robin for me. Or Five Guys.
Yeah, if I had to pick, probably Five Guys.
Five Guys is just expensive now, but
or In-N-Out or Smash Burger. I had Smash Burger.
Like Smash Burger? I had it like once back when they like started popping up, and it was fine, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll have to try it again.
I like thin burgers.
How about Shake Shack? I'm not a Shake Shack fan.
No, you don't fuck with Shake Shack? Why not? What don't you like about it?
It's not so much that I don't like it. I guess I just would rather get Red Robin or Five Guys any day of the week. Like,
Red Robin's a little heartier than Shake Shack. Shake Shack tastes like it's so good, but it just tastes very like artificial or weird.
I think that's it. And I'm not crazy of it. I like burger sauce fine, but if that's like all that, because it's a Martin's potato roll, which like around here you can get anywhere, and that's like what I used and grew up on for burger. So that's like not special. Not that like Five Guys is special, but I like a sesame seed. Like I don't know, Five Guys burgers are like pretty unique. I feel like they're like huge and like just very well done. And
good. The ingredients are really good.
I like their fries. Some people hate them, but they're like greasy and shitty and good to me. I don't know. Five Guys is like,
we were so spoiled getting one right down the street.
That's where I first had it, dude. And to this day,
it's probably why I have such good memories.
Yeah, that's part of it.
It hits such a good nostalgia.
Because John Robb taught me my first time. He's like, you get the fries, you pour them out in the bag, and you rip the top of the bag. So
we had the tech down.
A trough of fries, and I still do that. It was so funny. Michaela started eating meat like a year ago now. And so our first Five Guys together, she had never had a Five Guys burger, and I like showed her the tech. I'm like, my friend John, it's like, because they're real greasy. You don't want to be reaching in there.
Just tear the top of the bag off.
Yeah, dude, it works.
It does work, dude. That's so fucking funny.
The malt vinegar is killer.
Yeah,
the place rules.
All right, what's your favorite glow in the dark yo-yo?
Glow in the dark yo-yo.
You know which one it is, bro. Don't even.
It's
the 75th edition freehand.
The freehand zero?
Yeah, the one with like the bubbly.
I never had one, but it's good.
Danny had one, which was amazing. But it glowed hella hard. Like, something to do with the plastic, like, made it kind of a matte finish.
Yeah.
Like, it was polycarbonate, but like, just something about it felt like it got like overcooked or some shit. And like.
Did the Yo-Yo Nation Zeros they didn't make any glow ones?
I think later editions maybe they made glow in the dark ones, but
I don't have And I haven't had many glow in the dark yo-yos. My brain jumped to light up, which would be that magic yo-yo one.
Oh yeah,
that's like the best light up yo-yo.
But yeah,
I had
bro.
some powder coated glow in the dark yo-yos.
Those were sick. I remember.
That's
those.
always sick. Anytime someone can powder coat glow in the dark,
Yeah,
you can make any yo-yo glow.
I wish powder coating or painting yo-yos was like easier to do.
Yeah.
Every couple years, because like the setup to make something powder coated isn't that expensive. It's like $300-400, but like the process is so.
I don't have the patience.
Yeah, it's so much.
Set up a booth and like be outside and no wind and
it's
get it just right.
Insane, right? Yeah, you need a garage really, like somewhere to do it that has space. But yeah, that 75th edition freehand it's really the shit.
Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Luke Vader dyed one time, and it
damn.
and then it glowed the color that he dyed it. It was so sick. Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one from Dale too. But is there any non-yo-yo artists that influence your yo-yo related art? I don't know, like artists by name, but definitely just I think for both of us, probably like old skateboard company.
Yeah, for sure.
Type stuff.
I think what inspires me more is just like cultural ephemera and things that specifically like counterculture ephemera or like old punk scene stuff or like old hip hop scene stuff, and like that doesn't really exist anymore, or it's kind of like few and far between, or culture is so turn and burn that like the shit doesn't stick around like it used to, or like even if a really good idea happens, companies don't elaborate on that, they just do it and it's like, oh cool, like that's done. Like I don't know. That's I think a big reason why people fuck with Supreme so much is because it's just like very consistent, doing the same thing like over and over again. So they have one thing that hits and it's like, all right, we're fucking doing it until we can't anymore. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think of any good artists by name that I could really. Because you sent me that question earlier, and I was trying to think specifically of artists. I mean. Drew is very inspiring. Drew Tates, he's technically a yo-yo artist, I guess you could say. But our close personal friend Drew Tates, who's a Grammy Award winner.
What did he win on?
The John Lennon Mind Games packaging. Yeah, that
won like a packaging Grammy. Oh my god, that's insane.
The same one that Perry was up.
Wow.
Yeah, something else crazy is gonna happen soon with him. I'll tell you off pod. But were you on his close friends list, or?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and I'm forgetting
you
what.
Do, yeah.
Oh yeah. This unrelated. Eagles in the Super Bowl. Let's go Eagles.
Go Buds.
They have an awesome player, Saquon Barkley. He's like their running back. He's just like breaking records and being crazy. And he grew up in Allentown. He went to high school.
Holy
Whitehall,
shit! Like really?
Right down the street. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I literally drive by his high school all the time, and I don't even think they even have like. I thought they at least like put like.
They should have a fucking statue of him out there.
But then I looked it up on Wikipedia, and apparently they've produced like a ton of it. It's like not the first time, but this guy is like particularly unbelievably good. So
that's so interesting.
And it's his birthday on Super Bowl Sunday.
Whoa! So like, imagine if Peter birthday be a cool and you're world champion. Yeah, that'd be
runs
insane.
And scores a shitload of touchdowns.
Almost Sebastian Brock.
His birthday fell on Worlds.
It's like right around Worlds. Yeah, normally it's like I think it's like August 7th or 8th.
I remember him turning 21 at Worlds.
It would always be like that Sunday, like that.
Having my first beer. Legal beer.
Be careful, bro. We're gonna get clipped again.
We can address that if you want.
I'm trying to think of a good artist. Again, like I don't really keep and again, it's social media's fault, but it's like there's just so many good artists now that like I follow fucking a million different artists. You know what I mean? And they're all very good, but I don't know. Cause is great. I know people hate him, but like it's cool. What's that?
He makes like the bear bricks, right?
No. He makes like characters that kind of look similar, but like
who makes the bear bricks then? Or like
this company Metacom. Yeah, it looks like a Lego character but with the bear head. Yeah.
Ben Baller has a million of them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know what. I'm sure there's like a cool history behind them and why they're so popular, but I couldn't tell you what it is. Seth probably could. What's your holy grail yo-yo?
Oh man, I mean, Fat Boy was up there.
It's so funny. We both got some of our holy grails from that guy.
I just got a Fat Boy. I still need a freehand one mint and package.
Oh wow,
preferably a green and yellow. That's not.
I don't think those exist, bro.
That's not gonna happen. I have every other freehand mint.
MIP is a little much.
I'll take a red. I'll take a yellow. Yeah. No blue. I don't want blue.
You don't want blue?
Blue to me is not. I know a few guys used blue in like Glass Lab video, but you always see red and yellow.
Yeah.
Like Jason Lee's yellow, red, and obviously Bionic too. But I don't know. To me, red or yellow is the freehand one color of choice. Blue is like an outlier color that some weird guys use.
Back in the day, I did have a blue freehand one. That was like the only one I had for a minute. And then
there's nothing wrong with them. It's just
no, I get what you're saying.
They're not as iconic to me.
Yeah. What color did Jason use to win nationals? Was it yellow? Yeah. Seth and I were gonna say you first.
I just think part of it is actually like that the freehand cap, the logo has a lot of like red, yellow in it.
Yeah,
so it just matches, goes better to me with the yellow and red. But Seth and you were what?
We were talking a few weeks ago about just freehand colors. And because when I got that freehand one from that guy, when I first got to my house and opened the package, like the color of it looked like the freehand zero, and I was like, "Fuck! Like, did I just pay $75 for a freehand zero?"
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. I'll just chalk it up to an L." And then I like opened up to make sure I had old friction biscuits, and I was like, "All right, good sign." And then I checked like where the spacer is for the O-ring, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, and there's no like pad thing. It's for sure a freehand one.
Yeah.
But it just like is a slightly more neon color. Because the one I had back in the day was like milkier. It was like a milky green plastic. Yeah.
I think there's just a lot more variants back then.
Yeah, and that's what Seth was saying, something about that. But I need to get some OG yellow caps for it, so I can make an OG green and yellow. But
it has white, right?
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
The white on the green,
dude.
It's just not.
It doesn't look bad, but it's not.
It's not one of them.
No, yeah, and I think they're the same. I think Brian or Sean Perez was telling me that they're the exact same size as the OG freehand ones. Maybe I'll just get some repo yellow caps and put them in there. But
that's like the Bionics gotta have black caps for me.
Damn, personally. I have a Bionic with white caps.
That's still sick. A Bionic's Bionic.
Was it the team edition that had white caps?
Maybe that probably is more rare.
But I think this maybe had black caps at some point, and I switched them out or like.
I got it from the history because then there was Ninja Boys were red, yellow, and blue, right? They just had Ninja Boy caps. Was there a Bionic Ninja Boy?
There was, yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
We should introduce Steve about freehand one history at some point.
Yeah, we should. A Grail would be like a Ninja Boy freehand. All freehand one stuff. Yo-yo jams, not really Grail that I can think of. I wouldn't mind a bright yellow Night Moves too. Yuki Spencer 2004 Worlds.
Green and yellow freehand is definitely my Grail. And I'm lucky to have another green. And it's beat up too. Like it's nice that it's like all dinged to hell and like the one that I got.
Oh, Deviate too. I need a Buzz on Deviate.
Really? Don't you have one or no?
Nope, no Deviate, no Rogue.
CJ has one, I think. You should get that off CJ.
I don't need to CJ collects too. I gotta take CJ's, but
they're not great. When's the last time you played with one? They're horrible.
No, I have more, but I have so many Buzz.
You do have a lot of Buzz ones.
I have so many.
3, 6, 9, 10.
I don't need any more Element X's. Thank you so much to everyone who has sold me and given me Element X's. But there was a time where I was looking for them, but now I have like 15. So, and I will never use any of it. They don't play well. They just don't.
Like I have a cool half a mortgage payment in Element X's that I'll never fucking use because they're horrible.
Some calf in here.
Have you ever tuned them?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. You're still playing with fucking friction stickers at the end of the day. Like unrecessed friction. It's just awful. It doesn't matter how. It's not even the smoothness. It's just the response is so unpredictable and crappy.
Yeah. It's so funny because I have a Element X bodied yo-yo from back in the day. It might have been a Bushido that my friend James cut like super spin factor rings into. It's I think you played it. It was one of Danny's yo-yos we did for the podcast. It's heavy as hell. It's got to be fucking 75 grams, but it's so smooth, and because it has like a small Duncan bearing in it, and like
right, that helps.
But it's just so crazy how smooth it is versus every other Element X, and it's so bad. I'd also like a set of trans hyper freehands, which I think
those
Seth.
are hard to come by.
I think Seth has like 2 sets of them, if I remember right, that he offered me a set of them at some point, but we'll see.
Nice. Speaking of buzz on, Ignitus is back yo-yoing.
Is he for real, you think? Or?
He is, yeah, we talked about it. He's like, and took a long break, 17 years, I think.
It's so funny, too, that like, didn't you tell me before you hit him up, and he's like, I don't want to yo-yo anymore. Yo-yoing's bad.
I think I was mistaken. I think that was Tommy Gunn.
Okay, yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
I hit someone up. When I made the dunks, I hit up a lot of my old favorite players, and a lot of them were like, sure, I'll take one, and then others were just like, nah, I'm good on yo-yo. I was just giving them, obviously, yo-yos. But I'm pretty sure I did try to hit up Ignitus a while back, but I couldn't find the message if I did. And he was just like, nah, I'm all right. And then, but now he's back for whatever reason. I think just, you never really quit. Randy Shreves did the same thing recently. Brian Koski did the same thing.
What was that comment on the other day that you showed me? From Derek Walker?
Yeah, he commented. That's where I saw he was interested. Someone just randomly shared a slam dunk I sold them on the Facebook
marketplace. It was the Paul Scalar one.
And he was like, yo, where'd you get that? That looks cool. And I was like,
I tried to send you one.
This is my moment. So I hit him up and we had a great talk, and I sent him a fat box of yo-yos.
That's awesome.
Should be there soon. I sent him like everything that I've made, so I'm just excited.
You're a good person.
I just want that is like I said to Seth, like that's just, it sounds so stupid. That's like a yo-yo dream come true.
Yeah,
if I would have
him yo-yo again,
told my young self I'd get to send Ignitus a box of yo-yos I made, like that's crazy.
Right.
And he, I don't care what he does with, but I just that he's yo-yoing. If I get to see him yo-yo again, or even in person, if he shows up to that would be like a bucket list moment for like.
Bro, I owe him a lot. He invented 5A Tangler.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Seth about that too. He actually, at least in that YouTube video, he does like a double or nothing Eiffel Tower, like the style I think I took that from him. I'm sure. So it's not a true Tangler, but I just say
I think it's the same.
I mean, it's not like 2 kinked strings. It's like an Eiffel Tower formation that you're like tightening and then spinning. But same concept. And then his 5A is crazy, and he invented follow for people. No one has any idea who we're talking about.
Follow is crazy.
Just all his stuff. Someone uploaded it on YouTube. I think a Japanese player. Just search Ignitus yo-yo.
We should just do a fucking episode.
The videos hold up. I watched all of them this past week. But follow is the crazy trick that Paul Hahn took to the next level like, a couple years later. But that's all Ignitus. He fucking trapeze regen stall he invented. He has a whole video
where you like bind
variations in regeneration, it's called. And bind and catch it on the string in a trapeze, and then which birthed like all of modern responsive yo-yoing.
It's interesting how back in the day concepts would get introduced like that, and then people actually did different variations of them. Because I'm sure that was when Johnny did the whole like stop and grab to regen.
This
kind
before
of thing.
this. Well, yeah,
right
it's like 2003, 4. Yeah, I guess.
But like, and same thing like Yuki got off like the cross arm shit or the palm shit. Hand. Yeah, but like then people made up different variations of it, and like now it's like someone makes up one thing, and it's like everyone just does that in a different combo. It's like pretty rare that people actually come up with different variations of it, in my opinion anyway. I don't know. Or it's like so minuscule, the differentiation, versus back then it'd be like, oh, you created like a whole different pattern or technique to do this concept, which is like true innovation, not just like, well, instead of throwing it this way, I throw it this way now. Like, all right, cool. Speaking of which, so I got a question that's who the most influential yo-yoer of our time, which I don't know if that means like the last 20 years or like specifically this generation, or
he says R like, and it's
you are,
So like right now, present, or yeah,
I guess. I mean, right now there's not really anyone who's that influential.
yeah. Who would be? Yeah, it's just complicated now because
Because
it's
people
like
just sample from everyone.
influential on competitive meta would be like I guess Jensen and Gentry kind of set up the whole modern. Well, not even Jensen. Jensen was all their string hits, which was the old style of
And
judging.
when I think of influence, I think about like people who want you watch them or people watch them and
Right.
want to yo-yo like
Yeah,
them.
I agree. So if we're not talking like just comp and we're just talking influential, that is hard because everyone is.
I would say John Ando, I guess. Because like before John, like there was a select few people who really the subject matter of their tricks mattered that much. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
like after John did his world's routine, like I think that really changed things in my opinion. Which ironically, Shinya Kito won the next year, who was like not a
Yeah.
great subject matter example, but like, and then he also changed the pace of yo-yoing because like yo-yoing was so fast before that, and it was like the only way you're gonna win is if you go really fucking fast. And then it's like, oh, you can just do really good tricks and
I
do
think
well.
Takeshi Matsura for 1A, his 1A too.
Probably, yeah. If you
That's
had to,
probably it.
I'd say Takeshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because outside of comp, even like everyone does his tricks. Like literally everyone, all the top guys seem to
Yeah, it's a great point.
cite him as
probably Takeshi Matsura. Then yeah, I agree.
yeah.
That's a great example. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm like Ando, I guess.
It took me a while to get there for some, but that's got to be.
But you're totally right. Yeah, everyone does his
all
shit.
that crazy slack redirection, fun stuff. It's amazing.
No, it's good. And yeah, it's crazy that he has however many 5A titles and then just amazing 1A player
yeah.
too. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I love his 1A.
Also, if I was him, I feel like he could still come back and win one if he wanted to. Like, I don't know what he's doing right now with his life, but like,
yeah,
there's like he could. I feel like he could.
Definitely
like,
could.
I don't know. Maybe it depends because it's now more than ever. I feel like tricks really matter. Like Yakub, kind of proved that. Where it's like, oh, if you do really good tricks, you're gonna edge out the guy doing a million
hooks,
whips and shit. Yeah.
That would be crazy if he
Yeah.
just pops back up.
You want to do one of your questions?
Yes. Let's see. What makes a good trick? The feel or just the level of difficulty or other aspects?
Say it again.
What makes a good trick good? Is it the feel or just the level of difficulty or other aspects?
Everything.
Yeah, it's all that stuff.
That's a deep question.
Yeah. A trick can be good if it's just, well, yeah, like to me personally, I don't, if it's just plain difficult, that's like the least impressive.
Right.
To me, the most impressive is when it's difficult and like probably feels good. I wouldn't know because the trick I'm thinking of, we'll get to it, but that guy who binds the yo-yo halfway and then like does a lasso.
Yeah.
Like that is not only super difficult, but like just big brain, like creative, everything, and it looks good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it feels great to hit. So
it really hits a lot of.
It's like a perfect
notes,
trick to me. Yeah.
But like when it comes to trick construction, it's like pretty simple. Like only one thing happens. Like it's a joke or a novelty for all intents and purposes.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
But it's still really cool. That's a great example though.
Yeah.
Of where like if you do certain things the right way, all that other shit kind of goes out the window. You know what I mean? But vice versa, like you were saying, if a trick is just difficult for the sake of being difficult, that doesn't really. Nobody's gonna watch that and be like, "Damn, that's really hard."
Yeah.
Like, no offense.
To me, a generic like neck stole to behind the back stole, like one of those big long combos where you're just whipping, like insanely difficult to hit in sequence. Like I get it, but unless you're doing it just right with composition and style, it's not, to me personally, going to be good. But it can be good, but it's not inherently good just because it's hard.
Yeah,
it still depends how you do it.
Not to talk shit because Zamstrom is an amazing player, but I think Zamstrom is a great example of that, where like his tricks are just so difficult and like dense, and there's not a whole lot you can read into because it's so proprietary to his style. You know what I mean? Like
Which
no
is
one
what
else
I
yo-yos
like
him.
Zamstrom. But yeah, you're right.
It's really cool, but it's
it's not accessible to everyone.
Right, yeah.
To enjoy.
I think, you can't really define what je ne sais quoi means, but it's like that's really what comes down to what makes a good yo-yo trick is like the intangibles of it, or like, and a lot of shit can feel good. Like there's so many tricks I know that feel good that like are not great tricks. Like the one trick, again, not to talk shit, but like that I've seen myself doing a lot the last couple years is like that Jensen thing where he goes like
oh yeah.
And it's like it's literally just a sideways rock the baby, you know what I mean? But like
that feels good.
It feels great, really yeah. Good. So that's why I enjoy doing it, and it like sets you up for a cool just the momentum that you throw into it. Like it sets you up for a nice next part of the trick. But like as far as subject matter is concerned, nothing is happening. Like it's just the yo-yo bounces in and out, like, and not even like in a necessarily original or fun way. It's just like,
and I do a lot of like this like redirection shit that people always are like, that's cool. Like, why do you start? And it literally is all feel good. Like that just feels good to do, and it's like a good filler for while I go into whatever I'm gonna do next. So.
And then
stuff like that.
Zoning comes into play too with that, where it's like the yo-yo isn't really jerking around that often in that momentum, and then so when you do that, it feels unique. It makes the trick look more unique. Like it's. Remember Steve's old one? I probably can't do it sitting down, but it was something like, oh, sorry,
all good. It's B grade.
It was like that thing he used to.
Oh yeah, the cross arm version. Yeah. There's this one, either freestyle or video, that just triggered a memory where he does that like 6 times in a row. Yeah. It's like he's like trying to think of what to do next. So he just
I remember that, yeah.
I think it's a freestyle maybe.
It might be like a demo. I think it was MAR 2005 or something.
Yeah, like maybe something. But it's still very slick move.
Dave Schulte yo-yos to like Linkin Park in the end. And then Steve is like, Dave yo-yo to radio metal, someone to yo-yo to real metal, and then yo-yos to like some bullshit.
That's funny. Yeah, can be hard to put into words, like you were saying with the je ne sais quoi, but also just a player's personal style. Like someone like Yuki Spencer, I'm convinced could do any trick by any person and do it in a way that it's going to look good.
Yeah.
It could be like the ugliest shit ever, but like he can just
that trick something how he moves his so good.
That's what I mean, and that's like probably just him
fucking around.
That is just how he yo-yos. Is just good. All the like
same thing with Jason Lee. Like,
yeah,
similar thing. Where
I envy that more than any
timeless, amazing style. I guess probably the most important part is style. Like that's why there's the whole trope of like style matters, but it's like ultimately the most important thing. And like, because vice versa, like if you don't have style, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean? You can just look like shit. And like,
God, it would be so cool to be able to just, no matter what you were doing while you're yo-yoing it, to look awesome like that. Like I can't imagine. I have so many clips I just throw. Like I have to film a while sometimes to get anything I'm happy with. And it's like you could just film him at any given moment, and it's gonna be sick.
Yeah. Good Christ.
We're back. We got the buzz on.
What were we talking about?
Fuck, I forgot. It's a good question.
Yeah, thanks to Buzz On for sponsoring the pod.
This is an official Team Buzz On button-down jersey. Shout out Alex Ulrich. Thank you for this. This is a Grail item of mine. I would love one of the Duncan ones from back in the day.
Yeah. I was
Stolen Valor.
Yeah. Very upset that the Yoanator got one. I was like, God damn.
You could get that off him eventually.
I'm sure, yeah.
More questions. I forget what question we were on. What we were talking
about. Was
it
the most influential yo-yo question?
No, that was, we decided Takeshi Matsura. Anyway, sorry guys, I forgot what we were talking about. What makes a feel good trick?
Oh, that's what it was. Feel good tricks. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about that though. Go ahead.
Are either Sky Surveil or either of you going to PNWR or Cal States? Can you? That's the first part of the question. I'm not going to PNWR, unfortunately, because I was on the fence anyway. But Randy has his work training out here, and it falls literally on the weekend of PNWR.
Damn,
he's gonna be here for a week, and I haven't seen him since 2017, so we're hanging out.
Oh yeah. Damn, you saw him in 2017? That's awesome. I mean, it's been 6 or 8 years.
When we first bought the house, me and Michaela, the one, so he just helped us gut it, and it was like, we were just like manically like gutting this house, so we didn't get to spend too much time together.
That sucks.
But I mean, he was great. He helped us out, and we had fun. But now we'll just get to chill, do some yo-yoing. Randy's yo-yoing again a lot.
That's awesome.
We're gonna film some stuff for the Dunk 5th anniversary because I'll have that stuff by then.
That's sick.
Maybe a little Welcome to Cut Sound part 2 or 3. I guess technically 3. Be Welcome to Allentown now. We'll go into the
Welcome to Allentown.
4 people were just shot a mile from here over the weekend.
Were they really?
Yeah, one of them died.
Jesus.
But Cal State's, I don't know when that is, but I'd be down to go.
I want to say it's in April sometime. It's in Chico.
Oh. Oh, maybe.
Even if you could fly into Chico, which everyone's gonna argue that you can, but like you really fucking can't. You can, but you gotta fly into like SFO and then take a small plane to Chico or something, or I don't know. It's a hard contest to get to, and it's
I remember. Yeah.
Literally the largest or second largest.
The Denny's still there. That's the deciding factor.
I'm sure it is. I mean, I can't imagine. That'd be crazy if that Denny's was closed. I feel like that'd be big news.
But you're going to PNWR, right?
Probably, at least PNWR. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence just because it's so goddamn expensive, and
kind of is, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the rest of my year is looking like right now or playing out like. So it depends.
And there's also the other reason for me was, I mean, obviously Randy sealed the deal, but it was expensive, and then like a week or 2 prior is that Pittsburgh contest I really like.
Right. Yeah.
And that's local, but it's still fucking 5-6 hour drive. Yeah. Like it's a long ass drive.
It's literally the amount of time it would take you to fly to California or Portland.
But I love that so I gotta space them out. I can't burn myself out with too many.
Yeah, or
I'm gonna
spend a crazy amount of money on it.
It's so much fun with Spencer last year, and I'm not gonna. But it'll be next year's PNWR in no time. So
right. Yeah.
Oh, and his second part of his question, sorry, real quick. I already answered this kind of comparing the Dew to the other dunk entries. I mean, it's just it's definitely wider than any other dunk so far. And it's smaller diameter than a regular dunk, but it's a whole different thing. It's the most unique out of the whole series, like we were mentioning earlier. So
how bad did I fuck it up when I had the other? I don't think I did it that much, but I'll try it.
I'm fine with that. That's B grade to me. People are too picky these days.
They really are.
Ignitus and I were talking about that. I'm like, bro, you're going to be blown away by how smooth these are.
Especially being on Buzz.
I was like, yo-yoing's a lot more fun now that we don't have to use. Like, you're going to realize how bad the yo-yos were. Yeah. It's like, I already have, dude. Like, this is crazy. These things are so good.
I wonder what he has right now.
I'm not sure. I didn't ask, but
that's funny.
Yeah, I'm so pumped to see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What he comes up with.
Even like you said, he doesn't film anything, or just to know that he's like back in action or whatever. That's sick.
He's in Michigan, so maybe we can get him to go to that Midwest contest, and I would fly out just to go.
What Midwest contest?
There's Midwest Regionals still.
That's in Minneapolis, though. I don't know how far away that is from Michigan. What's the?
I'm an idiot. I'm just like, Michigan's near everything.
They used to have a regional there, though. What was that called? Mid-East Regionals? MER?
Mm-hmm.
That used to be in Michigan. I would fly out for that or drive. I think it's like a 9-hour drive or something.
Contest?
It's in St. Louis.
Is that also far from Michigan?
Yeah. I don't know how far, but definitely 3, 4, 5 hours. Like
geography's not my strong suit. I realized I was on the phone with Trevor the other day.
Michigan's a hella far.
He's like, yeah. Where is he from originally? Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska's like right next to South Dakota where Randy lives. Mm-hmm. And that like blew my mind. I was like, so you and Randy are like close to each other when he lived in Omaha.
Yeah.
Would like be potentially close. He's like, depends what part of South Dakota, but yeah. I thought Nebraska was in like where Arizona is. Like down here.
It's not far away, bro. Like it's a couple states.
I'm just a fucking moron with that stuff.
No, it gets really muddy around there, you know what I mean?
Everything left of Ohio, I get pretty muddy, and south of Pennsylvania.
Like even Idaho. Like you think Idaho is like fucking near Iowa or something like that, but it's really like it's next to like Washington and Portland and all those places.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of insane. All right, I got a question. What are your biggest yo-yo pet peeves, personally or with the scene? Hot takes. You just had a good one. People are really picky, which like I understand why, but it tends to lean towards the very inexperienced people who are the pickiest.
Yeah.
And like I remember when we were kids, like Yuki and Paul Han kind of like not giving a fuck about anything, and just because they were really good, you know, they like yo-yo was a piece of equipment to them. It wasn't really like they appreciated the artistry of it, but it wasn't so like, oh, I use these pads with this string and blah blah blah. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, like cool.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't bother me too. I don't experience too many people like bitching about vibe and stuff, but
yeah,
it definitely like a little bit of vibe I still think is not the worst thing in the world for how a yo-yo feels on the string.
Right.
But,
yeah.
A good pet peeve I realized recently is people who throw breakaways like this. When it's 1A. Like there's like a 5A way to hold it. Dude, that shit. And then not only like that holding, but when it's like your breakaway is like a flick of the wrist. The only person who like it's maybe gets a pass is like Guy Wright kind of does that. He has like a very soft, but he has like this kind of thing, which I don't love. I just like a very classic, like you're holding it like this and throwing it.
I never really
something about that, like that little flick, like a weak breakaway is just rough to me.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. Those people tend not to have very long tricks either, and I don't know.
Dainty breakaways. And,
that's a good one. Dainty breakaways.
You know, I love coffin, but I don't love a front style, side style. I mean,
yeah, you really need to be a particular type of player to make that work. Coffin makes it work, but
yeah, he does.
And he's like very admits that he does it.
And I'm not calling out Coffin.
No,
I just wanted to preface that so you doesn't think I'm coming at him. There's other people who do
I think he said that in the comments of the last.
Yeah, so he was on my brain with that. But it's not the end of the world, but
there was a guy from Arizona who used to throw like that, but like all of his tricks were like kind of
SF guy, right?
Yes, Alex Gullimore.
Yeah.
It was like kind of side style, front style. It like when I first saw him throw, I was just like, oh, this is so whack. And then literally like the first trick, I was just like, holy shit, like this guy is really good, and like he plays that part of his style up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And that's a personal thing on me too, because I could go as far to say I don't even like front style, period. Like, even good front style yo-yo, I just don't even.
Really?
I kind of tune it all out. If I see someone, if I'm scrolling through and someone opens, I'm like, and that's
You're
on
not
me.
a big front style guy, huh?
Ooh, not at all. I've never really. I can't think of any front style tricks.
That's so funny.
Jason Lee protrusion, boingy boing. I'll watch that.
I'll watch a good boingy boing combo.
But no, I just hate it, and I think it's because I'm not good at it, probably. So I can't like relate. I'm like, I'm never gonna do this, and I don't get it. So it's hard. You gotta have something.
Another pet peeve.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I guess
it's
like
hard off the top of the head.
Yeah, without just being like obtusively mean, like not for no reason. You know what I mean? I don't love how like segregated the scene is in terms of like just all the companies and how cliquish it is. Like I feel like when we were kids, everyone chilled with each other, and like it wasn't. But now it's, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but just like it's yo-yoing's always been very cliquish in some ways, but it's like to another degree now, and it's like, especially like with supportive companies, it's like I post whoever, whatever on my story. Like if it's an amazing trick, I'll repost it. If it's a really cool yo-yo, I'll be like, damn, this yo-yo is sick. Because like
I do the same thing.
The cosign is important, you know what I mean? And that people listen to what we say. But like, I just hate how unsupportive, I guess, yo-yoers are of the rest of the scene. Because it's, you know, it's really not that big of an industry. So it's like we all kind of need as much support as we can get. And I feel like yo-yoers kind of look at it the opposite way, where it's like, well, as soon as I mention this other person, that might not be a person that buys my yo-yo, and it's like
That's crazy way of
it
thinking.
is, and like yo-yo is like to me, anti-marketing has always worked to my advantage, where it's like you do things that aren't traditional marketing, and people remember that and then support your brand because of it. And it's like that's always worked to my advantage since Recess started, and it's like done nothing but hurt other brands that have tried to either come at me or think that it's lame when you do the anti-marketing thing, and then you just look weak and insecure and old, and then all the players like, what's the matter with that person, or what's the matter with that brand, why are they acting like this, blah blah blah. Like, I remember when Instagram, this is like 2016, Instagram turned on, there was a big rumor that like all the algorithm was going to be like throttled because like if you didn't have post notifications turned on. So like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and I made a post about like make sure you don't turn post notifications on for Recess or something. Like I posted like a comic that someone wrote, because it would be like every brand posted like a how-to tutorial, like here's how you turn on post notifications so you get all of our posts that come out. And the one I posted that was like, go outside, that's that way, go talk to your parents, it's that way, go hang out with your friends, that's over here. And I was just like made a kind of a comment of just like any brand that's doing this is like really insecure, and like,
and you probably got a ton of interaction.
It got like 400 likes, like people fucked with it, and then like all the yo-yo brands that put that up deleted theirs because it kind of like realized, you know, how lame that was to put that up. So I don't know. And I guess the other pet peeve to me would just be how homogenized the meta has become, where it's like, I get that like you have to do certain things to win, which is fine, but like I feel like, I don't know, we keep bringing up Yakub, but like he's such a great example of a player who doesn't play to the rules, and like he's not doing the same meta that everyone else is doing, or maybe he's just doing like the most extreme version. I don't know what you'd want to say about it, but like like I feel like, again, there's proof that you don't have to follow the same rules that everyone else does and do well. You just have to make good tricks, and then but people would rather take the easy route out and do the same 90% template that's been laid out in front of them and then change a very insignificant amount. So whatever.
That's a big peeve. That's a big pet peeve. But yeah, I agree with you.
But I get that's how it is, and it's like it's indicative of just how society works now, and it's like there's a template to how to be cool and how to be successful at everything, so like why not just follow it? But anyway.
No, great point. What else do we have? Why have D-size bearings always been the minority? I think a lot of people just don't like them. They snag more, I guess, potentially. More potential to snag.
Aren't they the same width as a C-size bearing? Or
I think they are, but something about them, they are a little more prone to
smaller in diameter. Like the string wraps around quicker.
Right.
So like
I think more backspin potential. So I think it comes down to people just aren't going to compete with them for those reasons. Therefore, it's never going to be the majority.
Which is crazy. Like when I first started Recess, that was such a big proponent of it, was like the majority of people aren't competing with yo-yo. They're just doing it because they're passionate about it. So like you should focus on those players and not strictly competitors, or not try to promote competitive yo-yos. And like it's truer now than ever, you know what I mean? Especially now that skinnier yo-yos are more popular, lighter yo-yos are more popular, like organic shaped yo-yos are very popular. It's just everything is the opposition of what you would think is going to be cool and successful right now. But yeah, just like you said though, I don't think it's ever been popular for basically those reasons. Like people just, you can't compete with it, so like it gets negged for that reason. And then
they're also hard to find. It's like they're annoying to buy in general.
Which is, I don't know how, I guess just because large bearings are the regular standardized size, that companies just order so many of them, they're just floating around, versus like D bearings are not that prevalent. Like I had to order grooved D bearings for D bearing Joyride from a different manufacturer than I made the yo-yos with.
Me too. For the Dinks, I have to hand replace every flat. If anyone needs flat D bearings, I have like 600 of them now. From the first run of Dinks and these, I have to remove every single one, because the company at the factory I use doesn't carry them, and I was like, can we get them? And we went back and forth. It ended up just being easier for me to just order the bearings from a bearing company, cheaper to have them sent to me and me to do it versus.
You ordered them from another machine shop or
no, from like a bearing.
Really?
Yeah.
A concave shape though?
Yeah.
Damn, you'll have to send it to me.
Yeah, I will.
How much
good.
were they?
Very cheap.
Okay.
The bearings are cheap. That's where I get all the bearings that I sell on my website and stuff too, and they're great bearings. That's awesome. I think.
Yeah, I need to get that from you because I bought them from another shop and I feel like I overpaid, but whatever.
AGR SoCal asks, favorite thing from the 90s? I think he just means in general.
In general? Nirvana. Yeah. Nirvana, Oasis, I don't know.
I like the advertising. And it's probably nostalgia, but it's also not. Shit was just funnier. And a lot of the print advertising, I follow a bunch of like archives on Instagram that have like the old PlayStation ads, and like they were so cool and like avant-garde and weird and like wouldn't fly today at all, some of them.
I think the 90s advertising was really there's different waves of advertising, and we're kind of experiencing that now with social media, where it's like, the 20s and 30s for advertising, because there wasn't any regulation. It was like, hey, buy this, it's the best one. The doctor recommends cigarettes. And then it's like, what the fuck? And then that's kind of where we are with social media right now. Yeah. And then like the 50s and 60s kind of brought a more like tasteful advertising. People started caring about the aesthetic of how it looked and not just like making it like peacocking with the ad. And then like the 70s and 80s were like a little more combining the two, where it was like, oh, people want to know the like hard data and statistics on this, so like we'll bring that into play. And like you said, the 90s really hit like a perfect like, and then the 2000s it kind of started all over again. It got shitty for a while.
Yeah, the 90s were cool, man.
I grew up in the 90s. We could talk about the 90s forever, but I mean, a lot of the yo-yos that came out during the boom were really sick too. Team Losi was really cool. Custom Yo was really cool. Pro Yo was really cool. Like, I don't know, shit was just cooler in general back then, and like, because people had to come out with a more original product, like you couldn't just repeat the same thing over and over again like it is now, where it's just like,
it sounded like such a boomer, but life was just literally better.
No, it was mad different.
Pre-social media, pre-dead internet, it's just all going downhill fast.
Do you have a lot more questions left?
I got a couple here. Okay. Any plans for a plastic rimmed yo-yo from you or Tyler? I think so. Right?
Both of us, yeah.
Yep, definitely. That is fully on trend now. I think we talked about it maybe in our forecast for this year, but very clearly since Remy's yo-yo, I think it's been like everyone's doing it. It's great. I think it's fun. This is the new monolith, which is...
what does that mean, monolith?
Monolith is like a big block, I think it mean. I mean the
the
reference I know is the monolith is in that movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's like a big black block that everyone worships or something. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie since I was a
single large block of stone.
Yeah. So it makes sense for this yo-yo. This yo-yo is like 76 grams, but it does not play that heavy. I don't like heavy yo-yos, but I really like this yo-yo. And you said you liked it too.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And then obelisk is a stone pillar, typically having a square rectangular cross section and a pyramid top.
Yeah, that's
set up as a monument or a landmark.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of similar now, except for the pyramid part.
Yeah, monolith, I guess, can be like a cube. It can be anything as long as it's big. Whereas an obelisk has a specific shape it has to be. So yeah, I think it's cool. I like the look of it, like the plastic on metal.
Yeah, I feel like that is more. I don't know who did this style first, where it's like the plastic with the. Was this Yo-Yo Wreck?
Might have been the Savage, I think.
Something like that.
Definitely early to do that.
It was like, it was bimetal underneath and then plastic rims over the top, so you could make a wider yo-yo but not make it heavier.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a cool concept. It's just like, I don't know. Anything that has more than like 2 pieces, I'm always
it's
like Jesus
maximalist.
Christ.
Like
you're gonna hit this one time on the ground, it's never gonna play the same again. This is so good though, and this is like the first one I played with, where it's like I'm trying to think the right way. Like because of the way that the center weight is distributed, like you said, where
it doesn't play. Yeah,
it's fucking 7. It's super heavy, but it's not. It's only heavy upon binding, really.
Mm-hmm.
It just has a nice oomph coming back to your hand, but otherwise, like because it's such a thick rim that like doesn't feel like that kind of weight. And that's we've talked about this before on the podcast, where like people make things out of titanium just to be like, this one's titanium.
Yeah.
No one's really like utilizing titanium to make a specialized yo-yo, but that's the first one of these I played with that's specialized for that reason. Like any other one, I'm sure they could just make a metal version and like move some weight around and it would play similarly. But
yeah, it's just a weird yo-yo. And I was saying earlier, I appreciate anything that's done with intention like that.
Yeah,
like he clearly wanted a yo-yo, a strange yo-yo like that, and it fits his style, his personal preference, and therefore that, like, I just appreciate that so much more than just like, well, I'm getting a yo-yo, what should I make that people will like? Like, it sounds like he literally made like the yo-yo he wanted exactly, and it's very strange.
The shape is so good too.
It's really like, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool all around. I really
great
like
player,
it.
great yo-yo. Last one. No, that's it for now. For me.
Yeah, a couple more questions I got were what yo-yos are you guys most excited for that have dropped or currently dropped? This Monolith is fucking great.
That one, DKIM has a new yo-yo.
DKIM's new yo-yo is really good.
Yeah.
We both play with it Virginia
also
State.
Plastic
it's
rim
awesome.
technology.
His is more so covering the rim though, right?
Yeah, it's different. It's might be the first yo-yo like that.
No, I think Miracle is like that too.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
And then Miracle is like brass rims too, but like nobody was fucking with that yo-yo. Like the only person I've seen playing with that is Remy.
Yeah. That's literally what I was like. Comp players, like, yeah, it's just Remy.
Yeah.
He's the comp players.
Yeah,
I was referring to.
But like, and the fact that they've only made like this is maybe the second run of them this year that they just put out the Miracle, or maybe they did one last year right before Worlds or something.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't know. Yo-yo. Like when Jensen won, they couldn't keep his yo-yos in stock, and like they were making as many as possible and doing as many variations as possible, and then, I don't know.
What was his modernyoyo.com? What's his website?
Yeah, that sucks that never. I mean, whatever. Art is doing okay, it seems. So.
Yeah. What else we got?
One drop iMetal.
What about it? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it just says one drop iMetal ! Question mark.
I think they've been teasing something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, Seth sent
that's their whole thing is like, we don't do bimetals, right?
So. I think they previously had manufacturing difficulties or something like that.
That'll be cool. I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah. Seth said that in his group chat with other players that the aluminum body is only 11 grams and the rest is rims for how heavy it is. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, wow.
I wonder if that means 11 grams per half.
Probably.
I think it has to, yeah.
So that's 22 grams. So they're gonna. I mean, is that much less?
I don't know.
I don't know what a normal.
Yeah, I'd have to look at some CAD somewhere, but
I'm pretty sure I'll have to ask Jamie, but the Slappa SS we did, which is a bimetal that's 59 grams, I think the aluminum body's probably, no more than like 14.
Yeah.
I don't think it's much more than that. So.
Interesting. Yeah, it's probably not that crazy then.
A bunch.
Yeah, that's really it though. For interesting questions. Hot takes on Spy.
The company?
Yeah. They're really good back in the day.
Spiky nipples.
Yeah, that I always thought was bad. And I even remember like when we did the train wreck together because he made my first pro model. I was like, can we please not do these? And he was like, well, I already have like the CAD set up. It's so much easier. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Like
the yo-yo called the Addict with a big skull on it was a little weird.
Yeah. And didn't that have an anarchy symbol on it too?
Oh, yeah, maybe it was
an anarchy. God, bro.
Yeah,
I think it was both. I got a skull like in the middle and then an anarchy symbol.
It's some rough engraving. They're cool now.
Yeah.
I get like with today's like.
And it's also funny, like Steve was a great guy, but it's like, oh, this engineer from Canada that like is a super.
It was cool.
Super smart nerdy guy, like throwing an anarchy symbol in a yo-yo.
Yeah.
Call it the addicts. Like
that's that early 2000s. Like
right. Yeah.
That's what everyone thought marketing meant, was just like
take a look,
make a really sick logo or whatever. But I liked I wish I still had it. I won at Maryland State's a Radian Superlight, the one with the holes in it.
Yeah.
And I had a nickel plated Radian that I won also, but they're all gone. Radian was like a good yo-yo for the time.
And it was super smooth. Like
so smooth, yeah.
It was crazy
like
because
pyro levels of smooth.
I don't even like. I remember my pyro not even being that smooth. Or like when
That's interesting. Mine was dead smooth. Really? I remember you saying that though. You must have maybe got a weird one. Or...
yeah, maybe. Or like I feel like I played with them recently too, and when I play with them, they're never smooth. But
yeah, huh?
Yeah, but Spy was interesting, and then also like they did a great job curating their team. Like they had an amazing team back in the day.
That's insane that John Rob was on Spy.
Yeah, John Rob, Guy, Joey, like they had an amazing team, and it's like I don't know, like if they just made slightly better yo-yos, I feel like
the Pure was ahead of its time. Didn't play very well, if I recall correctly, but I mean, hollow capped yo-yo metal, one of the first.
Probably. Yeah, super ahead of its time. I mean, I remember John Rob telling me about it and saying he wanted to be like the samurai.
Really?
Like the yo-yo.
I thought he told me it was supposed to just be a freehand. I was like, this is nothing like a freehand at all, but like I get it. Like just in that it had caps.
Yeah.
Because he used freehands before that.
Super ahead of its time though, like you said.
Was he on Spy before or after? That was after Antio, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because I think Antio kind of disbanded. Yeah. Do you remember when that was? Or when was that?
Would have been like 2008, 9? Between 8 and 9.
But didn't the Pure come out in like 2000?
It must have been 9.
Early 2009, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember 9 was my last Worlds in Florida, and he had them there, or had Protos or something.
Okay, yeah.
That was on Word. I wish I had my Word yo-yos too. Those were good too. Honestly, the two fat ladies.
They were ahead of their time.
You take the stupid beefcake out, you put a concave in there. Good. I had one, a groovy lady. It had like grooves in it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I had a black one of those. They had like great finishes, like good bead, like interesting. It wasn't really a bead blast. It was like it's almost looked like they took like a circular sander to it, because it was like a swirled finish, like sanded into the metal. It was very smooth.
That's interesting. I don't remember that.
And they had like a Pac-Man, Pacquiao.
Yeah, it was really light.
Like lightweight. Yeah. That was so good too. They make cool yo-yos.
Yeah, it was just a bummer that he kind of like only made yo-yos like 4 Worlds basically. Yeah. And then like
that was his big event for sure.
Yeah. And like every year, like all the people on Word would be like so excited and like stoked and like really pushing it, and it's like, oh, like hopefully this is the year that something happens afterward, and then it just would always kind of like fizzle out. Even this, like, was it 2019 Worlds or was it 2020?
It would have been the Japan one. Yeah,
no, I want to say it was like just this last year. Didn't they have, maybe they didn't have a booth, but like they were like really pushing it, or like they tried to like,
Mark Allen was there. He had his new yo-yo, the Sentinel. That was good. Super wide.
It was a Word yo-yo?
It's huge, yeah. It's enormous. It's so big, but it's really funny. It's an oversized yo-yo by any definition, but then I took a picture of it in his hand. It looks small. He just has the biggest hand. Yeah. So he's like, I had to do like everything feels undersized to him. So
that's crazy.
But it's literally like, it's like
that. Holy shit.
It's so crazy.
That's insane.
It was good though. Had a really cool engraving on it. That Higby did.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, oh, I do kind of remember
that. It's like a big robot.
Yeah.
And it goes like all the way over the whole cup or something. It's very sick.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those companies that like, if they had like an assistant or someone that could help them put out product, it would have been like something that would have been really successful and popular, but he always had some kind of shtick with like the booth at Worlds and like doing cool shit. And anyway, all right, you want to do best tricks?
Yeah, let's do it. What?
I numbered them all.
Oh shit.
All right. So what do you think about this one? And I put it in slow-mo again.
This is Jihu.
Yeah.
I wrote just crazy.
So difficult, especially to look nice.
To make it look nice. I mean, yeah, that shit's just dope. And I really like, I sent you another one today for maybe next week of one of those fake whips where it just goes in the gap. I love that shit, dude. And I want to get good at it.
They're hard.
It's really hard. What do you call that? A little
like a fakie whip. I don't know.
Fakie.
That's what I would call it.
Let's call them fakies.
Fakies.
So is it a double fakie or is it triple?
I don't know. So he does like the Takeshi slack thing, brings it off the yo-yo, real whip, fake.
Yeah, I had never seen a double fakie before like that.
It's really cool, and I do like it and think it's really cool. Obviously, I wouldn't put it on the list, but I think it's great. I don't want to talk shit on him, but just like it's a combination of 6 other done things. You know what I mean?
Right, but I think it might just be a proof of concept. Like we should all be doing double, triple fakies, right? That's the way I took it. Because you see people do one of those. Right. I've seen that a million times. Yeah. But I've never seen the double. And I think
that's true. That's a good point.
I think there's room for cool double stuff.
Yeah, I think the reason it did so well is because it just looks so amazing. Yeah. And like it's like you said, it's a proof of concept. And then when you look at like the first one, I like the fakies that like go really into the yo-yo gap that like prevent the yo-yo from falling all the way. Like his hits the bottom of the string and then lifts it up. Like which
he's still using the yo-yo gap to redirect the whip though. Which is the important part.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. So that's number 9. Great trick. All right, this is the Kimmy arm trick. This is really good. Upon slow-mo inspection, like it's a great trick, but I think it's the beginning of something that's way bigger and better. Like this is a crazy extension to get the yo-yo to go that way, and like, I mean, the yo-yo shouldn't be spinning that way. Like it's amazing, yeah. And then, like when you look really close up, I can't tell if it's. I don't think it's a rejection right there. I think it just he undoes it and then goes back around. And then comes out. It's an amazing, or is that a triangle?
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's crazier than I thought, bro.
It is. I
didn't watch these in slow-mo.
I didn't think that it was a triangle until we just watched it, but.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then catches it. And then the behind the back ninja vanish just for the icing on the cake.
And the little flourish before the just pinwheel almost like. Just that right there is a cool...
looks great, yeah.
And is not easy either.
No, like you definitely... That's like one of those tricks that you need to stretch for or you're practicing, like putting your arm behind your back. Like you have to be this size guy. Like at 170 pounds, I could not do this trick. No. It's amazing.
Yeah, my biggest note was just how good it looks and flows because when you get into this contortionist body stuff, it's very easy to get clunky and look like shit. Yeah. But this just looks extremely polished and good. And it looks effortless, amazing. Which is really hard to do.
Yeah. All right. This guy, I forget his name, but he's really good.
Silojan, I think.
Okay. He's from Czech, right? This is an amazing combo, but it's definitely a bunch of concepts that have already been done or borrowed, like, and a lot of this reminds me of like Kieran there's another guy that's more Kieran-esque than this guy. It looks amazing. Like it's a great combination of tricks. I can't talk shit on it, but it's just
Wait, is this this might not be Silojan. Wait, yeah, no, that rejection. I think he presents that really well. Like he slows to me this trick. I'm not super versed in tech, so like I see that rejection and I see the slack coming up. That goes the 3D slack.
Yeah.
And they kind of mirror each other, the rejection and the slack. And I just like how...
The presentation's amazing. That 2.5 into the triangle is amazing. and then
That's a
using
cool
that
grab,
to remount. Yeah. He moves the yo-yo in a lot of unique placements and ways that a lot of these pieces haven't been put together before, but also I'd like to see some more original concepts, but
it's pleasant to watch, and then he presents the two, to me, banger parts, the rejection and the slack, very well. So that's what's important.
His style and flow are crazy.
If he would have just
that is insane, yeah.
The thumb, everything about that.
Even that though, like I don't know how new that is. Like I feel like I've seen people do that before. And like it looks incredible, and like especially just mid trick, like wow. And then,
exactly. Like, I think that's what makes it fun to watch, is that it has a really solid pace, and then those two slack moments, he like slows down and looks at the camera.
And it's also nice that he makes it a part of the trick. Like it's necessary to move on to the next part of the combo. Right. It's not just like, all right, Eiffel Tower and exit. He does that to that suicide, and then he does that triangle thing 2 or 3 times. And then at the very end, this part he does a upside down on the other hand. And then the bind is really sick too. All right, this guy is crazy. This guy's nuts. Yeah. This is the guy who reminds me a lot of Kieran's yo-yoing.
Interesting. I don't get that at all.
Like this part, I'm almost positive that's a Kieran thing. Just a lot of his hand, that thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
A lot of that stuff. Yeah, just the way his hand placement looks. That slack was insane. The 3D slacks are crazy. And then I like that he has like a palette cleanser mid trick of like just like rolling the yo-yo back and forth kind of.
I liked how there's a ton of slacks, but the bangers are all spindlies.
Yeah.
They all reference each other.
I like this bee sting motion right here where he like goes to cheese whip it and then bounces the yo-yo back and forth. Like the yo-yo is going up and then he bounces it backward to get out of the cheese whip thing. Yeah. And then that spins a whole bunch, and then I swear right here when he comes back, that is insane.
Yeah, I like that.
And then that catch was really cool. I think that's a Kieran catch, but whatever. Still looks really cool. Insane trick, yeah. And 3D adds a lot to it.
And then he does one more. There, spinny slack.
Yeah. Those are really topical right now. People are doing that Kai slack a lot.
Yeah,
where
I love
you
that
get into like the crab mount and then just throw it and it twirls.
Love twirl.
Insane trick, yeah. All right, 5. All right, this guy is really good.
Undolish.
Yeah.
Undolish. Shirt is crazy.
He's always been amazing. He's been amazing for 7, 8, 9 years now. Like he's yo-yoed the same way. So, and you know, his trick construction is great, but then also the subject matter is just completely original. Like nobody is doing any of these things. Like he created all these, and you can't say it looks like anyone else.
That is my favorite part, where he pulls his arm he's in like a fake bucket, and instead of just like letting it go and moving on, nope, keep going. Huh? Did we miss it?
Maybe.
Yeah. Back it up a little bit.
Why did I put this? Oh,
He's in like a fake, where is it? Fake bucket, like right here. He spins down into it, and just the way he gets out of it is super sick. I like the way he emphasizes.
Where at? Right here?
There, that little pull he does. I don't know. That stood out to me. And then it pulls it out of the fake bucket to just like an unfinished green triangle, and then he keeps going.
Yeah, this whole trick is insane.
But yeah, the pacing is perfect.
I really love how the first part of the trick, he does the same motion 3 times. Like the yo-yo goes forward 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Yeah. Like that's hard to do. Yeah. And then like just instantly the rejection that gets out of all of it. He's an expert when it comes to trick construction and just like what happens in the trick. Like everything is building off another part of it. Like it's amazing.
Nasty.
I think this is the
You got
DKIM. All right, the fact that it's raining is insane. Like, yo-yoing in the rain is insane. Like, if you look really close to his face, you can see the droplets.
Wow.
Even for that short of a trick, like, if you went out there and just filmed that trick, that's one thing, but yo-yoing in the rain is insane. And then, like, that little rejection is crazy.
Switching basically to front style, and then also the way he breaks out of that fake knot is absolutely perfect. Like,
yeah. Look at this rejection, the way it just, like...
Yeah.
And then he re-catches it on the same hand.
That's insane, yeah.
And then that, like, the rollover when he switches from there to, like, moving his hands now inward is just crazy to catch it.
But this...
And then that's front style, and then when he undoes it, it's a fake knot. That's wild.
Down to the timing of the fake knot breaking everything is perfect. So he's very, very good.
Short, but sweet, and, like, it hits a lot of good notes. Like, that rejection is insane. All the posturing is insane. And then, like you said, the timing. It's
a fake double green triangle.
Right.
That's, yeah.
And anytime you can do something old and revered, like a fake knot, but updated, it's just fucking awesome.
This was one I mentioned earlier. Insane. It's my favorite trick in a long ass time.
Crazy, yeah. I like the fact he doesn't even rethrow it afterwards. He just lets it fall down and then catches it again.
I haven't tried it yet.
And then the gentle softball throw, like, he didn't even throw it regularly. Like, you know he's about to be on some shit. It's like foreshadowing where it's like, oh, what's he going to do? With no spin? Like, he's going to do a cool regen, I guess, or whatever. And then, like,
it's
hangs over, whips it up. It's actually easier than it looks. I did it the other day, like, just fucking around. But
it's amazing.
It's just great. And then he just drops it too.
Even the choice to drop it, the one arm behind the back, little things like that add up to, like, make presenting a trick look good.
Everything about this is super cool. This is like a gallery quality trick, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Where, like, this could be a piece of art. Like, if this was...
Yeah, it rules. I love it so much.
It looks amazing. That's great. Not much to say about it other than that. It's just really great. All right, this is the other DKIM trick from this week, which subject matter is a little lacking on this, but it's just crazy.
No one's doing that.
No, that many turns.
And he does a full spin one way and then spins back the other way.
That's he doesn't completely go back around. Yeah, he's going the other direction. And, like, every movement is a new placement under his legs, if you notice that, where, like, he throws it, it's under the leg, it's on the outside left, comes around the outside.
Now he's almost behind the back. Yeah.
Inside, turns around, 360s, comes back, outside the leg, comes back around, and then binds over the leg, too. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And, you know, he doesn't look the most comfortable doing it, but, like, that's part of pushing the envelope, you know what I mean, is sometimes not being the most comfortable. So, it's fucking insane. It's incredible. Like, I can't... It's insane.
Very hard to do.
Yeah. His face right there is really funny. It's like, yeah. And number one, our boy Jakub. This trick is insane. I mean, even though we were kind of talking shit about meta earlier, like, he's definitely going to the next level with all of it. Like, watching that full speed, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying about, like... Or I started to say earlier, I think, is with these big whip combos, it's not inherently a good trick just because it's difficult like this is, but the way he does it right, because the one thing I notice is, like, from the beginning, it's like he does one over on his left, or on our left, then he goes over to the center, I think, then to the right. It's just like he's hitting all the spots, so it's not all behind his left wrist the whole time.
Left, and then
we got left. Yeah, right, his right, middle. Then he goes over there, then back to middle, then the middle, neck, middle, over to the left, whatever.
It goes back and reverse, forth,
but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's balanced. Which is hard to do when you're just doing big, insane.
That first part is insane.
Difficult whips. Yeah, I'm not even sure what's happening there.
He's, like, doubling under the trapeze, whips it up. It lands on the yo-yo, but then when he whips back, like, it creates, like, a pocket with the string right there, and then the yo-yo falls through.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's crazy.
And then over whips. I think that's like a version of that Remy, because he does it after this, like the wrist mount thing, but he's doing it, like you said, outside. The zoning is out of control with this.
You call it, I just,
and then,
it like mirrors each other.
Right. What is that, like a 1.5 negative over
out of the
1,
GT.
2, yeah.
Something.
It's like 1.5 negative, and then catches it. And then, like, the height and the amount of time the yo-yo spends in the air is absurd.
Yeah.
And then catches it in that Remy thing.
Right.
Which, like, I think he's doing something weird with his hand there that, like...
It's looking like some straight jacket shit almost.
Yeah, like, I don't think Remy does it that way. So, like, I think that's even his own version of it. Catches it, and then when he... that's a crazy rejection.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of lackluster part you can say on the trick is when he does that triangle to triangle thing. Like
he might be getting it untwisted though, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, for sure.
It's got that extra knot there. And now I think that's a clean GT maybe, which is interesting.
But I feel like he could just do that from...
He could, but I respect... Because I hate a dirty GT when it's like all twisted up.
Right? Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. I'm not sure what's happening, but if he is just getting it to a real
totally
GT...
what's happening. Yeah.
I love that, because like you got to clean it up. And then to another insane middle. And then I think the neck one's next, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then reverse neck stole. Pops out. And then like... Do you see that crossover where
he like flips it so that it's...
So that he can do the trapeze over his neck, catch it around the other side. And then when he pops it up and then puts his arm over the other one to do the bind. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's so insane. Good. That whole combination is just absurd. Like... It's really wild. It's crazy because, like, you know, Mir Kim is kind of known for doing all this stuff. Where it's like, I'm doing behind the back to 4.5 or whatever. But that's kind of like we were saying, just difficult for the sake of being difficult. This is like...
No, it's
not only extremely difficult, intentional, and then also...
Looks well thought out.
It looks insane.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like, watching it in slow-mo really hammers home how difficult all these tricks are to do back to back to back to back.
Yeah, the slow-mo adds a lot. Damn.
He's so good. All right.
Good shit. Good lineup. Yeah, we should do this all the time.
Yeah, hit us up with your
send us your tricks.
Send us the tricks.
I already got 2 I sent you earlier today.
Okay,
I think are good contenders.
All right, peace.
Oh, is that it?
I think that's a good way to end it.
That was a long-ass episode.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, peace.